So today, you want to impress someone. You floss your teeth, you clean yourself, you put on your best outfit, you even memorize some jokes to warm up your conversation. Then you go out, surrounded by people, take a deep breath, and say hi with a fabulous opening. And nobody cares. What's the problem? The outfit? The joke? In this video, I'll talk about some simple mechanisms and actions that can gain you popularity. And if you are new here, this channel is my experimental records on how to deal with humans, including emotions, social life, and personal growth. As you know, life is never easy for humans. Unlike cats, we may find ourselves constantly struggling with self-doubt as well as gaining recognition. So, what can we learn from cats? What makes them so attractive? The most obvious thing about them is confidence. You see, they have no trouble in questioning your love no matter what they do. Many people have realized the importance of self-confidence, but there is one thing they often neglect: the power of mystery. You never know what cats are thinking. Today, we live in a world where people are desperate for attention. We want others to listen to our stories and find out our talents, and we have to act quickly before people move their attention to other things. We've become so scared of missing out, we are eager to make people notice us. Sometimes, when we see people we want to impress, we try too hard. We immediately want to start a lecture about us and want to showcase all the good things we have. Then, when we realize that people find it boring, it damages our confidence. But it's bound to happen because no one likes to read an essay that has nothing to do with them. Only if you can find a way to arouse their curiosity will they find you interesting and want to know more. That's an easy way to do this: contrast. It is natural for us to form expectations based on how people look, their social status, etc. For example, if there's a movie star or a rich person taking the subway, we will say, "Wow, they are so down to earth." But when I take the subway, I'm just taking the subway. This works for the rich because, given their background, we would expect them to have a luxury lifestyle, for example taking private jets or having luxury cars when traveling. But when they do something that is out of our expectations, we are impressed. So here's something you can do. Ask the people who know you best about these two things. First, what was their first impression of you? And second, what was the biggest thing that surprised them? This gives you a starting point if you're trying to find out what makes you interesting to others, what makes people remember you. And remember, you don't need to pretend something you're not, and also you don't have to force it right away. Instead, because everyone secretly are looking for someone who listens to them, someone who understands them and takes care of them. Just when you're wanting to present and brand yourself, so are the others. So instead of trying so hard to show the best version of yourself, leave some room for people to express themselves. And when they do, listen carefully. By meeting more and more people, you will start seeing your uniqueness. And to be honest, most people are just looking for someone who would listen to them. It's a win-win situation. In your first meeting, try not to overshare. Leave some room for people to imagine and connect you with their personal interests. You also don't want to overdo mystery by shutting down and not sharing at all, because this would create a distance that makes you look unapproachable. The way to do this right is to create an equal conversation. If you are dealing with an extrovert who is very comfortable with social setting, make sure to leave room for them to participate after sharing a piece of information. For example, give them a time to make reaction or maybe share their personal story. Try to make the contributions between you two as even as possible. For the icing on the cake, you can provide positive feedback to their response. By positive, it doesn't necessarily mean compliments. It can be your genuine reaction, such as you find them shocking or surprising, so that they know you are engaged with what they are saying. Extroverts enjoy expressing themselves. They will be flattered if you are attentive to them. On the other hand, if today you're dealing with people who are obviously feeling shy and anxious, the making them to share a post will not work. Instead, it may scare them away. And here's a reminder: not all extroverts are comfortable in all social settings all the time. I myself is actually an ambivert who can only social with certain people. So what I'm going to say applies to all people who feel uneasy. For example, you can see that they look tired or they are trying to avoid everyone. In this case, the thing you should prioritize is providing comfort. Ask them if they are okay and don't judge them for what they need to be right now. It's okay to leave some blanks in your conversation, Because sometimes after a pause, if they want to share their feelings, they will eventually start talking. But if they don't, you can start the conversation by some observations in the current situation. For example, you can say something about the space, the setting. Try not to make it about anyone if you're not familiar with the dynamics and relationship in that group. It is important to say small, impersonal things because you don't know what they are going on internally. You don't want to share any personal story that may trigger or increase the unbearable emotions they are feeling right now. Instead, they will thank you for creating a little distraction from their anxiety. So now, in general, what if they show no signs of interest even when you've made the first move? Be like cats and walk away. And the same goes for conversations that make you uneasy. Always remember that you don't need to waste your effort on people who don't see the gems in you. If they are playing hard to get, taking your power back by keeping your mystery exclusive will only make them want to know you more. And if they are genuinely not interested, congratulations. You have controlled your damage on rejection. It's still hurtful, but you just can't force relationships. Speaking from my own experience, I don't think making people like you is hard. You can learn about it from millions of books and videos. What bothers me is the ability of making people like you without being a people pleaser. I've been in a place where I had many people like me, but deep down, I didn't think most of them will be there for me if something happened. That, to me, is the loneliest feeling that I've experienced. Which is why I use cats as the role model in this video, because I want to show the importance of self-confidence and self-worth. Building confidence can be a lot of work. But I just want to say this. It's really dangerous to put yourself out there if you don't know you deserve love. It can make you vulnerable to narcissists, gaslighting, controlling, and toxic relationships. So before making people like you, maybe you should ask yourself, what happens if they don't? Are you just gonna hate yourself for that? That's something you can think about. So thanks for watching and bye.